I know it's depressing, guys, to talk about this, but, we got to start being honest with how things are rather than how we want them to be. Hello out there, wonderful tribe. Hope you're doing really well on this crazy earth plane that they call a spinning ball. Today I'm back and I'm breaking down another NDE, and we're going to see what shithousery comes out from this guy's mouth as he tells us how God allows war and suffering. I haven't even watched this. It was just the title stood out to me. I want to know what this guy's explanation is for little children having their limbs blown off and seeing their parents get decapitated in front of them. I'm sure it's going to be explained away as some kind of utopia, but we'll see.
Everybody, my family came back to Israel after 25 years of exile in Babylon. And I grew up in a very traditional family. I used to go to synagogue.
Brainwashed then.
Always speaking about thanks God.
Thanks God. People are always thanking God, aren't they? Even when he doesn't answer their prayers. People praying for all kinds of stuff. Most of the time it doesn't come to fruition. And then they tell you when you say to them, well, how has praying got you in life? They tell you that God works in mysterious ways. So he may answer someone's prayers over here, but he'll ignore someone else over here. And I always think that, don't you think that these, and I use the people in Gaza as an example because it's real, but there's all kinds of examples where people have been, living in war-torn countries and had bombs going off around them. And can you imagine the amount of praying that they do? Like literally they must be praying all the time for it to stop. And yet it falls on deaf ears, our loving God that we're told. And these people go to places of worship. It's crazy.
I'm praying and I'm doing all the rituals, but I want
exactly rituals. A ritual to who? To what?
to know, is it God really real? Or if there's God, I want to meet him. I want to connect to him. One night, those thoughts, feelings really bothered me, and I couldn't sleep in that night.
Every night those feelings and thoughts bother me, mate. You're not the only one.
And I was awake till late, and I was really starting to think about committing suicide. Or
I wonder if entities are going to use his dire situation to their advantage. It wouldn't be the first time that we've seen that, would it? Wouldn't be the last time either. This is how they shoehorn and manipulate people. They get people who are in desperate situations and then they convince them of things.
And I started to cry. I said, God, why did you leave me? Why did you abandon me? You don't care about me.
And there is a sense of that with all of us, that we feel like that there is some kind of abandonment that has happened. Now, I'm not saying that that's from this religious God that he's talking about, far from it. But it does feel like something has happened here, and we've kind of been, we've kind of been dealt these cards, and we're having to try and figure it all out. And I feel like that, we're all still kind of searching, I guess, on the deepest level. But the problem comes when we think that these masquerading entities are the solution, or this AI God is the solution. They will present themselves as a solution. This is what they do, problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem, then they get the desired reaction. So maybe there was a problem in this man's life that was maybe orchestrated from the Matrix, we don't know, and then the reaction is that he's suicidal. Entities will play into that as well. They will encourage those suicidal thoughts. And the solution is that they go back to them, these false deceptive beings, the God, for the solution, and they end up getting more manipulation and deceived, and ultimately probably get sent back down here again once they go through all the afterlife and the life review and the memory wipe. So desperation is a very dangerous thing, and I see it a lot within the New Age. A lot of people there are traumatized and they're desperate for something to feel good, something to make them feel better. This is the problem. People are gravitating towards these entities, towards God, because they're looking for something to make them feel better.
I started to realize that there is somebody else in the room. And when I lift my eyes up, I saw that there is somebody standing before me, and I realized that this is God.
You just know it wasn't God. This is some kind of masquerading entity.
And in this moment, it was like the sun came into my room. I saw a life review.
Wow, he had a life review before he even died. Interesting. I've not heard that one before.
Actually, God was always there, and he was always there, and he was there.
Yeah, he's always there, draining your energy, feeding off your energy, manipulating your thoughts.
Directing everything, and everything happened perfectly to bring me to this moment.
You hear this a lot in the New Age. Everything is happening in the perfect moment. Everything is perfectly organized by the universe. All that kind of stuff, right? You hear all of that jargon, New Age jargon. And again, a couple of months ago, I spoke about the book Hellstorm, where it talks about all the German women that were tortured and raped, sadly, and some of them killed. And so how has that worked out perfectly for them? How has everything fallen into place for them? I walked down the street earlier this morning, and there's a guy rummaging through the bin, right? Is that everything working out perfectly for him? Is that God organizing everything perfectly for him? But these people will argue that, you have to feel that suffering because God needs to feel suffering to learn more about himself. None of this makes sense.
To come to meet God, I realized.
So this guy basically has to go through all this trauma to the point where he actually wants to kill himself. He wants to end his life. He has to go all through that just for this moment to meet God, right? Is that not completely sadistic?
I realized that God is real. I knew that this God is the God of it. It just became clear.
Look, this guy, if I tune into his energy, desperate, absolutely desperate. I don't know what trauma he's been through. I'm sad for him, but just his eyes, he's just desperate for something to come and save him or make him feel better. And here we have God.
To me that this God is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I realized that this is the God that my parents, my grandparents, and my great-grandparents were talking about. I realized that this is him that is standing before me.
Yeah, because that's the God that he was brainwashed with. We see it over and over again with these type of things. If you were in an Indian family, it will be some kind of Hindu God show up. If you are into Buddhism, brought up around that, it will be Buddha. It really is, the algorithm is tailored for the person. So there's no point from their point of view as showing up as, the Christian version of God or what have you. It has to be tailored because there's that recognition, because he was brainwashed from an early age.
That God will be with me and he will direct me. I knew that I have to go back to my country and he will just be with me. He will direct me.
This is the furthest away from the sovereign energy that I talk about, that we need to embody. This guy is, he's a grown man, right? And he's just looking to be led and looking to be quote unquote guided. There's no responsibility, accountability. Maybe he needs to make some big changes in his life. Maybe he needs to, I know he says there he's moving country, but he's waiting to be guided. He's waiting to be told what to do. And this is where people are getting unstuck in this lifetime and in the afterlife. They're just waiting to be quote unquote guided, and you're going to be led over a cliff face if you don't take control of your physical life and what goes on in the afterlife.
I just knew that God is here and I don't need to do anything.
Imagine 12 years of just engaging your willpower on your own life, changing the direction of your life with your willpower. That's why they call it willpower. It's a powerful thing. And this guy is just at the mercy of whatever he calls God.
He will be with me.
And now he's an agent of the Matrix. How about that? What about that for a clinky ding?
everything I needed just came to me, was provided. I'm talking about money or food.
Yeah, if you're going to be an agent of the Matrix and you're going to go out in front of thousands of people, how many? 69,000 people, and repeat garbage for the Matrix, then the chances are the Matrix is going to look after you.
Food or a place.
This is why people sign their soul over to the devil and get rich and famous and all the material wealth, because they're working on behalf of the Matrix at that point. So the Matrix will look after you to a point, and then there'll be the rug pull. At some point, the rug will get pulled, because it has no respect for anyone, this system, because people just have an inherent need for something to make them feel good, or a pillar to lean into, because they can't lean into themselves. And this is what this guy's doing. He's traveling around. He's gone from religion, now he's going to, looks like Hinduism or Buddhism.
Buddhist monasteries. I tried different Buddhist kind of teaching, on the beach.
The other thing I got to say,
I was just met.
This guy doesn't embody any kind of masculine energy as well. I talk about how things like the New Age and religion, it knocks out the masculinity in men. And, like, this Matrix is trampling over us. And the men are supposed to be the ones that stand up against all of this. And this guy is just so feeble in the way he comes across, in his energy, very feminine. It's just not, the dynamic of the masculine energy is not there within him either. There's a light tunnel, guys.
It was an incredible feeling. I never felt good in my life. I felt real. I mean,
this guy got his dream. He's just looking to escape himself. His whole life has been about escaping himself. And now he's got his ultimate wish. He's escaped himself.
It's like...
What a surprise. The levels of trauma that some people go through, the poverty that some people go through. You're talking about, things that happen to children in terms of, abuse and stuff like that. This guy is going to sit in front of you and tell you that God wants that little girl or that little boy to be challenged. And this is what makes me so angry about it, is that these love and light, this completely ungrounded guy, has the guile to sit there and explain away the trauma and suffering in such a flippant way. And when you look at what has happened to so many humans throughout history, and the amount of suffering that the human family has experienced for millennia, this guy's going to sit here in front of you and say to you, you need to be challenged. And this is what makes me so angry about these people, these agents for the Matrix, because it's never, oh, actually, you know what? There's something wrong with this place. There's something wrong with all the trauma that's induced upon us. No, it's never about that. There's always excuses for it. It's always normalized. And this is what he's saying. God wants us to be challenged. Life is lessons, we get told. God wants you to experience pain so he can understand himself more. Sadistic, evil is what that is. You imagine, imagine your mother, right? Your creator, your mother, abusing you. And again, these are extreme examples, because I'm just trying to get the point across to people as to how delusional these messages are. You imagine your mother, who created you, then starts abusing you, and then you'll say, Mum, why did you do that? I wanted you to be challenged. I wanted you to grow. You needed to have lessons in your life. If we were talking about someone's mother in the same way that he talks about God, we would say she needs to be imprisoned. But no, because it's God, the creator of all, gets a free pass, and it needs to stop. And people need to stop making excuses for the stuff that goes on in here and call it what it is, which is downright evil and sadistic.
Planet Earth, it's like a school, and we came here to learn, we came here to progress. Actually, everything that happens in our life is coming
I didn't even have to say it, he said it.
To point us to God, or coming to teach us something. Everybody, let's say I'm driving in my car and somebody cut me off.
Everything that happens in our life points us back to God. Problem, reaction, solution, as I just described.
And I became angry, yeah? So...
Oh, you're not allowed to get angry about it? God forbid, excuse the pun there.
actually, this person that did this thing to me, that cut me off on the road, he gave me a gift. He pressed my button, and my anger came out for me to look at it, for me to bring it to my awareness, to look at it, and to be free of it. So everything.
Delusional. You're delusional, mate. The guy could have killed you in a road accident, and now he's blaming himself, because the Matrix always finds ways of you to blame yourself. He's like, oh, I shouldn't get angry at the guy that just cut me up, nearly killed me. No, I should look at why I got so angry. Right? You got angry because he cut you up and nearly killed you. It's a normal human response. Like, this guy is so ungrounded.
Then actually all the bad things that are happening in the world is actually coming for our good. Everything basically happening for our good. And it's only bad things if we are looking at it that it's bad things. But actually everything that happened, it's happened for good.
I can't even with this guy. All the bad things that are happening are actually for good. I mean, all the atrocities that have happened, the wars are happening for good. The people that needlessly lose their lives every day, the incurable cancers, and I know it's depressing, guys, to talk about this, but we got to start being honest with how things are rather than how we want them to be. The people that are in pain every day with long-term illnesses, that's happening for a good reason, according to our friend here.
Everything comes to teach us something, for us to progress on the spiritual path. Because in reality, nothing bad can happen to us. We are infinity. We are endless. This life is not the end.
Progress to what? Am I in some kind of course that I don't know about? Did I sign up for some kind of course or exam? And who's the friggin' teacher? Who's giving out the grades here? Who's dictating all of this?
It's just a school. It's just a short time that we are here. We came to learn a few things and to move on.
Yeah, but we don't move on, do we? Because we get tricked back round. And this guy, my God knows how many lifetimes this guy's going to be here for. I mean, he's completely at the mercy of the Matrix. This guy, he's got zero discernment. He's got zero courage. He's got not an ounce of sovereignty about him. He's completely in a savior program mindset, victimhood. I mean, it's all there with him. Just the embodiment of a perfect Matrix slave. And he's coming to tell you that it's all right. It's all good.
I don't see it anymore as this is bad or this is good. It's just all teaching that we are getting, for example, if somebody came and stole something from me, right? So, most people would feel, wow, this.
Oh, because you're so elevated, because you're so spiritual, you're not going to get angry about that. Give me a break, man. Give me a break. If someone steals something from me, I have every right to use physical force to get that back. Yes, physical force. I can use violence if I want. Something else that you're not allowed to do, right? If someone does something bad to you, you're not allowed to get violent. We shouldn't get angry. No, we have every right to do that. And this guy is going to come up with some cock and bull story about how he's going to forgive the thief and all this bullshit. Let's see.
This is evil happened to me, somebody did this to me. But actually it's a gift, if something was stolen from you, if something was taken away from you, at the end, you realize that if you really if you dig inside, if you really go inside, you come to understand that nothing can be taken away from you.
No, I don't want people taking away my things. Even if I am eternal energy that's going to manifest itself forever, I don't want someone stealing my phone. What don't you get about that? What is right? What is wrong about feeling those normal human emotions? I don't want to be betrayed by a fellow human for stealing something that's not theirs or breaking into my property while I'm asleep. This guy will tell you that that's okay for someone while you're asleep to break into your personal space, take something that's not theirs, or beat you up or murder your wife. This guy will explain it all away with this horse shit. And thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people listen to this garbage. And they'll go, oh yeah, love and light, yeah. Just forgive, it's the school, it's lessons. Oh man, I get so frustrated. Yeah, it's emotion. I get angry. Yeah, I'm allowed to feel angry. We should all be feeling that righteous anger at this point, with all the lies and manipulations and deceptions and fools like this that come out and excuse it all.
Basically, you are eternal, endless, and nothing can touch you. But we have to learn those things through difficult experiences. Right now, there's a war right now in my country, and it's not an easy situation. I mean, many people are in fear.
No, it's not in your country. It's in the country next to you.
fear. Many people are in panic. And I mean, I'm absolutely, I wish I wish it would be peace. And
oh yeah, but it's all good for you. It's all good. War's happening. It's all good that people are dying. They're learning lessons. Absolute idiot.
and I wish it was be not war. And both people are suffering for both sides. Both people are dying and getting injured, or their houses is taken away from both. There's a tremendous suffering right now in my region, in my country. As I say, I mean, we can look at it in two ways. We can look at it from worldly.
Please don't say it. Please don't say it that it's a good thing. Please, you're not going to say it, are you?
Worldly perspective, then it's terrible, and of course people are dying, and there's huge amount of suffering.
Oh, of course people are dying. You see the way he just backs that off, like, oh yeah, don't worry about that. Of course people are dying. Of course people are being injured. That's okay.
Right now, for Israel and for the Palestinians. If you look at it from a higher perspective, from God perspective, it's a shaking. I believe that shaking is coming. A shaking, maybe it started here, but I believe that
a shaking. What, a shakeout of poor people that have fireworks as weapons against your incredible high-tech technology. They've got sticks and stones compared to what you have. You're going to shake. God's going to shake those people out, is he?
The whole world is going to experience shaking, because I feel that many people forgot. All over the world, people right now are running after success and power and money and things like this. And I think that this shaking are coming to the world to really remind people.
Most Palestinians are not going after those things. They don't have a pot to piss in, mate, right? If he's going to shake things out, as you call it, he's going to shake out the Western countries. He's going to shake out my country, the UK, America, Australia. They're the ones that will get shaken out first of all, because they're the ones that are caught in the capitalism and the greed and all of the stuff that you're talking about. Not a poor sheep farmer in the middle of the Gaza Strip that hasn't got a pot to piss in. God is not going to shake someone like that out, and the children there that already have nothing.
For what is real and what is true, and to come back to God, to come back to the reality. And I believe that also there's also evil in the world. There's evil in the world.
Oh, really? You don't say.
And I believe that all those things that are happening are exposing the evil in the world, and everybody have to choose side, to go with the evil or to stay with...
You're evil, mate. This guy...
With righteousness, with God, and with the truth.
This guy is evil, right? He, on the surface... looks like a nice guy, friendly guy, whatever. He is spouting absolute evil, is what he is doing.
And again, like I said before, the world became very, very material in the last years. Very material. Many people,
the ball earth.
It's very rare that somebody really cares about God or the kingdom of heaven. So things are starting to shake. And
Great.
People's life, all the security of people, they had a lot of security about their money, their work, their house. So many of those things are shaking now. For people to come to know...
I tell you what, I'd like to shake. I'd like to shake him. I'd really like to shake him and wake up.
People to start to search for the truth, for what is really true, what is the only thing that cannot be taken away from them. God is allowing this to happen for many reasons, but it's all for good. It's all for people to come to know the truth. It's all for people to, when we feel too comfortable, when we feel too...
You're not allowed to feel too comfortable, guys, not on planet Earth. God forbid, God forbid that you feel comfortable. You've always got to feel anxious. You've always got to feel nervous. You've always got to feel like there's a massive psyop about to happen, or a massive quote-unquote illness that's going to get you. God forbid that you could just relax, right? And just not have a care in the world. No, we can't have that, because if you do that, you're not learning lessons, guys. You're not being challenged. You've got to be challenged, remember. It's all about being challenged.
When we feel in a very good place, we don't care about God, we don't care about the truth, we want to do our own things. I will just share with you something that I have a friend, he's a farmer, and he's a very...
Oh, is he the same farmer that's going to get his house and his wife and children blown up because God needs him to learn a lesson, is he?
Very perfectionist person. So everything he does very well. And he grows red peppers in...
Literally, all I see with this guy now is a clown costume. I just see the red nose and the red wig and the face paint. That's all. What I'm actually, maybe it's even a clown entity working through him, because what he's saying is just an absolute joke.
Here in the desert in Israel, and he made a field and he grew red peppers. And after some time, 3 agronomists came to him and he said to them, "So, what do you think about my field?" And those agronomists said, "Your field is amazing. It's everything. You made everything so well. The fences and the sunshade and the water and everything is perfect." They told him it's too perfect, and he said to them, "What do you mean it's too perfect?" They said,
"Oh yeah, you can't be too perfect."
said to them, look, when you give the fruits and vegetables ideal conditions,
because we're too perfect on this planet, aren't we?
they're just not motivated to do a lot of fruit.
So give them famine. Give them famine instead. That will teach them.
Just kind of stay and they do a little bit of fruit. If you a little bit scare them and kick them and a little bit like pressure them, they
give them a whole lifetime of scarcity. That will teach them.
Will give you much more fruit. So he took some of the sun shades and the wind shades away, and sun and wind started to come. And so he a bit scared them. And then they started to make much more fruit. They made double fruit from the last year. So this is the way we are human beings. If we just have ideal conditions and ideal everything, we just stay in our comfort zone. But when things started to shake, then we started to really a little bit starting to go more into the spiritual world, to start to search more and to get more.
And now you've got all the answers, haven't you? You've nailed it. And you're going to sit on camera and spout to thousands of people what you've learned and lead them over a cliff face.
Or the truth. Come more to the truth of who we are and what we are, because when everything is shaking, basically, everything shakes till everything goes away. Only the truth will stay. Everything that is not truth would be destroyed. Only the truth will remain. This is the principle. I'm not talking just about a message from God. I'm talking, the more you know who you are, the more you know, in Judaism, they always say, ask yourself where you come from and where you're going. Ask yourself every day where you are coming from and where you're going. And this is something very important.
Man, this guy rambles.
People today, they don't want to know those things, But the more you starting to know who you are and where you're coming from and where we are, then
I don't think I need to go any further with this guy. I mean, we're almost at the end anyway. There's a couple of minutes. I just think he's just going to keep on rambling about, knowing who you are, knowing what the truth is, buzzwords and lessons and challenges, and just the usual garbage of explaining away the fear, the suffering, the trauma inducement that we have in this realm, constantly pumped into us 24/7. An agent for the Matrix wants us to think that it's all part of the wider plan, that God works in mysterious ways, and he's actually doing this for our benefit, effectively, and that all the wars and the people that have been tortured and maimed and killed and had their land stolen, it's all because, God feels like maybe they've got too much, or maybe they are a little bit in their comfort zone and they need to be pushed a little bit. I mean, it's just absolutely barking mad. This guy is crazy and dangerous with the information that he's spouting, and this is why I do these videos. It's just, there's just not enough people that are breaking down these charlatans. Even if he doesn't know that he's a charlatan, he's being used as an agent for the Matrix. Enough said, really, guys. So yeah, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget, like I say, you can check out all my work on my website, transcendingtimes.org, and I will see you soon on another video. Take care. Don't forget, if you'd like to work with me clearing entities, etheric interference, any kind of that astral drunk, you can check that out on my website, as well as my course where I teach you how to clear that stuff, where we have a community where I do a bi-weekly live Q&A, so the training is ongoing. You can check those out on my website, www.transcendingtimes.org. As always, all the links are in the description below. But without further ado, let's get into what this guy talks about. I know it's depressing, guys, to talk about this, but we got to start being honest with how things are rather than how we want them to be.